Turn the heat off, please. Off. Hey guys, it's hot in here. I'm trying to get this heat off real quick so we can establish this show without any problems or any delay. Y'all come on in real quick. We want to discuss, y'all see in the titles, we want to talk about Tyler Perry's Temptation. It's going to be a hot one tonight. Y'all come on in real quick. Please share this. Please share this. Please share.
Hey, Lori.
Please share. Yeah, Lori, we was a tad bit late. But y'all come on in here. Y'all come on in here.
Sherry, hey, girl.
Tag some people. Hey, Sherry.
Kevin, hey, Kevin.
What's up, family? What's up? What's up? What's up? My wife tried to burn me up with the little space heater just now. Those of you who know me, y'all know I like to be cold. I cannot stand heat. So tell her if she get into this conversation, she don't have to worry about being cold. It's going to be like fire shut up in my bones. Anyways, y'all go ahead and share this so we can start. Share it. Tag some people in it. What is it, Monday? Hope everybody don't get scared. This is a touchy topic. Hope we don't scare people away. Y'all asked for this last week, right? Go ahead and tag some people. We want to get a couple of more viewers before we go in. Sometimes I be thinking it might be a delay on my phone, so it might actually be more viewers than what it is. It could be a delay there too. But yeah, y'all tag some people, share and tag. Then we gonna get started real quick. Kev, we already know. You know, me and you had our little disputes and arguments in the apartment. We used to be like, man, don't come in here turning this heat off. That's what's up. That's what's up. We giving a few more people a chance to get in. Yep.
Anybody start putting in their Christmas decorations yet?
Why you keep talking about Christmas decorations?
Because we about to start putting ours up
Second
this
time.
week.
Second time
This
on the show
week.
you did that. Second time. The last show you
That
tried
time
to
of
start
year.
off
You
with
want to
Christmas
say every time you
decorations.
hear,
But we don't want to
it's
talk
time for
about
the-
Christmas
it's time for
decorations.
the,
We want to talk about Tyler Perry Temptations right now. Right? Am I
We
wrong?
are, but before we get to that, we're going to talk about Christmas decorations. I'm trying to get in
Go
your
ahead.
head so it
Go
won't be
ahead.
surprised when we start bringing the stuff to decorate and then you act like you're
Nothing
so
wrong
busy.
with y'all hands. It's like, go ahead, y'all. Let's tag and share. We're going to get into it real quick. Kev, I think I seen your Christmas tree was up when you and Kamari did your video watching the Titans game last night. Was that last night? Yeah, last night. Yeah. All right, man, let's pray and let's go ahead and get into this topic real quick. God, we thank you for everything that you have been doing so far in each and every one of our lives. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for this platform in which we are able to learn and grow and be more attentive to you, our relationship with you, and our relationship with others. We ask that everything that we say here on this platform, that you would actually take control and allow it to be received in love. We ask that anything that's not in love that may try to attack this podcast, that you would shield us from it, and we will forever give your name the praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. So we see that we have a slight drop in viewers from last show, but hopefully they'll come in. I just try to get a certain number before I start because I don't want to have to go back over what I already went through, and then I don't want people to be lost in the conversation. But let's talk about it. Where we gonna start at, Nika? This was your idea, so tell me where we gonna start at.
So this was supposed to be a continuation of last week's show. Last week, the topic was the effects that social media has on your relationship. So then we started talking about social media, the relationships, and how getting becoming influenced by someone on the outside of the relationship, how it can affect inside the home. And sometimes we can find ourselves being attracted to something on the outside, someone of the opposite sex, and we feel like it's better than what we have at home. So then we started talking about the Tyler Perry. I think I brought that movie up.
Right.
The Tyler Perry movie called Temptation, and how Judith was tempted by the guy who was outside, or she was attracted to him, and then it seemed as if she had more to offer than what her husband had, and it just seemed like the grass was greener on that side, and so we had assigned this little project for all of us to go back and watch it. So I don't know how many of you have watched it or have already watched it prior to, and may have a different take on it, and on how just because something seems like it's better than what you currently have doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And sometimes taking that risk and that chance can cause you to lose everything you have, plus your life in a sense. Lose your life in a sense. Yeah.
Hey, Keisha.
Hey, Keish.
So yeah, we was just doing a recap of how we ended up here where we are right now. And yeah, like she said, we were supposed to be doing part 2 of the last topic, which was the effects that social media can have on a relationship. But somewhere along the conversation, this topic popped up, and this became what you guys wanted to do. So I hope all of y'all watch. Hey, Lakeisha Brooks.
Lakeisha.
I hope all of y'all watch
Temptations.
Tyler Perry's Temptations, so y'all can kind of have an idea of what we talking about. So let's dig right into it.
So remember, your thing was, you said that she was bored and that's how she stepped out. So when you watch the movie again, do you think it was that, or what do you think happened?
Man,
because she was going to work, remember?
Yeah.
And that's how she bumped into him. So
I'm gonna tell you what the bottom line was, right? Yeah, she was bored, but I'm gonna tell you what the bottom line was for me when I went back and I literally just watched the movie again. The bottom line for me was she failed to communicate to her spouse what she was dealing with internally, and because of that, he could not understand what it was that she was going through, or that she was even going through anything, and even at the very least, if he even knew she was going through something, he didn't understand, one, his role that he played in it, and two, how severe it was and where it was getting ready to end up. So if y'all just watched the movie, or if y'all remember it, there was a time where she went out and she was, in a sense, spoken to by a man, and the man spoke something to her that she always craved. What's up, Dion? That she always wanted, that she always was longing for, in her marriage or whatever. And she did what was right. She denied the man, and then she came home and she tried to push her desire on her spouse. But the reality of it is, she did not communicate to him why she was doing it. So to him, he was caught off guard. It was weird. It was out of the norm. And to both men and women, I would say, if you want to try something different with your spouse, you know your spouse and you know how they're going to react to different things and certain things. So what you should do is, if you know that they're not going to like if you jump on it spontaneously like that, then you need to have a conversation with them and say, hey, babe, look, it's getting boring. This is what I think she should have did. Hey, it's getting boring in the bed or whatever. I need you to do a little bit more. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And then they gradually talk their way through it. Now, if he would have declined her after that, then by all means, brother, it's your fault. So that's just my take. Go ahead. Yeah. A little bit on that first part, if y'all remember the beginning part of the movie.
Yeah, and so in the movie, like he had forgotten her birthday, like and I know for women, things like that are so important.
But let's get back real quick before we jump to the birthday thing, because that happened after she didn't communicate to him how she wanted him to make love to her. So before we get to him forgetting the birthday thing, I want to get your take on. I know. I just want to get your take on how do you feel as far as him not knowing what she was desiring sexually or period. You know what I mean? Because the birthday thing, that's self-explanatory. That ain't even really nothing that we got to dig into.
Okay.
All right. Well, we can dig into
okay.
it. No, what I'm saying is, no, it is a big thing that he forgot her birthday, but that's self-explanatory. Like everybody knows, like you do not forget.
Oh, you mean
yeah, okay. Like we already know that. So let's talk about some of the things about how it could have been done differently with him relaying or her relaying to him, you know, how she
what she wanted,
what she wanted,
needed.
Yeah, and what she needed.
Yeah, so
and this goes for both men and women. It just happened to be a woman that was lacking, but men, you know, we could sometimes be lacking as well and don't know how to relate to our wives what we need as well. So go ahead.
Yeah, and so it was expressed through the film also that they had been together for 19 years, but they was married for 6 years. So he was all that she knew, she was all that he knew. So when she got a whiff of what life could be outside of her husband, she became attracted to that. And then that's when I believe she realized, or she thought, that her husband was boring, because at that point she felt like she had something else that caught her attention that she could compare it to her husband. So it was this guy that, you know, she was a sexy guy or very attractive guy or whatever. And then she went home, like you said, and started thinking about things that she could do to be involved, that she felt wanted. She felt like he liked her, and that's why she started changing the way she dressed, started changing her hair, things like that that was normally okay for her. And that made her want to, you know, go after something more. And I believe that's what, you know, if she had communicated to her husband when she started you know, learning that she wanted more. If she had went to him and said, you know what, hey, can you do this, or can you even flirt with me a little bit more at home, whatever, you know, then that probably would have went a whole different way.
Right.
But like you said, she came home and immediately started throwing her wants and desires on her husband, who thought that he was what she wanted and what she desired, that he was already doing that.
But that's the thing. She didn't even tell her husband that, hey, what you're doing is not working for me. She didn't say that. She just went and started trying to duplicate what she wanted that man to do to her. She just started imposing it on her husband, and which he probably wouldn't have had no problem with it, but because she didn't break it down to him that, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, Sherry, communication was much needed. This is what I need you to do. This is what and I want to pull this point out before I forget it. You said that they know, and it's crazy because when I went in and I looked at the movie, it reminded me of us. And when I looked at how they knew each other for like 18 years, and we've been married for 18 years, we knew each other far, you know, longer than that. But the thing what you said was, you said that he was all that she knew. He was not all that she knew. I'm gonna bless you.
Okay.
He was all that she experienced. But even prior to meeting that guy, she knew that she wanted something more than what she was getting. It's just that her husband was all that she experienced. And because of that, she had no idea, because of her lack of experience, what chasing after what she knew but never experienced could cause more harm than good. So I just wanted to drop that point. A lot of times we think we know certain things, but we have not experienced certain things. You sure did, Sherry. I literally just told your mother that like a month ago, maybe. I was at her house. Yep, I just told her that. You sure did. But yeah, Sherry sung at our wedding, y'all. She sure did. But yeah, so again, like oftentimes, and we talked about this on the show before. We talked about how if one thing I never would do, and one thing I never did, was blame my wife for anything that I have done outside of our marriage. And the reason why is because, hey Felicia, reason why is because you're not going to do something that's not in you. You're not going to do something that's not in you. So what's in you is what you believe you know. But what's in you, you have never experienced maybe. And that's what happened with her. She knew about what she was seeing. She just never experienced it. And because of her lack of experience, it caused her to venture out into something that she thought she knew about. But once she got into it, she realized this ain't really what she wanted. That ain't really what she knew. So in terms, if you watch the full movie, she turned around and she used now her experience to help others who know about what she thought she knew about, or who seen what she saw, and she tried to help them. Hey, look, what you think you know ain't really what you know. Let me tell you what I've been through.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Shakan.
Hey, Shakan.
Hey.
Just wanted to check in that way.
Yeah. I think it was very key points, you know, in this movie. And the crazy thing is, a lot of us have family members that might know our situation, or might know what we're doing or whatever, and it's up to us if we want to take that advice. A lot of times we say don't listen to somebody that's not in a relationship, but her mother was there and she noticed a difference in her daughter, and her mother was like, I'm gonna tell you that guy
Catherine.
that will tell you that guy you dealing with, like, he ain't no good for you. I'm letting you know right now, you know. And she said that guy's gonna be the death of you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes in relationships, we need those people in our corner that's going to check us and say, hey, you're not behaving like yourself.
Right,
you know,
right.
you need to get yourself together before you head down the road of destruction.
Right,
you know,
right.
so I thought that was very key to have her mom, even though she felt like her mom was being so strict and just being this, you know, wanting her to be in church all the time and don't want her to live her life.
Right, right.
But her mom was trying to save her life.
Facts.
You know?
Facts. That's a good point.
Yeah. Hey, Ebony.
Another thing I wanted to say too is and ladies, hear me well, right? The reality of it is that men are less likely to get raped by women, right? Men are less likely to get raped by women. Women are more likely to get raped by men, right? Women, you have to stop trying to compare your infidelity or your flirting or your whatever it is with that of a man, because there's different consequences that can come with a woman that can't come with a man. There's different circumstances. Now, I'm not saying that to give no man no pass, but I'm just saying if your husband has a concern for you going on a business trip with a male co-worker or whatever, even if it's your supervisor, it's different from you having a concern with him going on one with a female supervisor. And I know y'all women out there about to kill me for this one, but hear me through. Because in my honest opinion, the first time when they was on the airplane, he raped her. You understand? And sometimes women, if you think, okay, I'm just going to go over to his house, but ain't nothing going to happen, or I'm just going to go with him to his room, but ain't nothing going to happen, or I'm just going to put myself alone with him, but ain't nothing going to happen. There are some sick men out there that in their mind, they're thinking, you know what? First of all, I'm going to go ahead and take this because she ain't going to tell nobody. The reason why she ain't going to tell nobody, because she going to have to explain why her married self is up in my room at this time of night. And she not going to want to explain that, which means I'm going to be able to take it and she ain't going to say nothing. You understand? And this is the type of stuff that can happen to you guys. Now, I'm not saying it can't happen to us men, but the likelihood of that happening to us is slim to none. Now, men, on the other hand, if you do go there that time of night and you don't give the woman what you want, she can try to lie and say you raped her. And then now you're going to have to explain why you in her room, you know. So it's a lot of different things that we need to be careful about when we even think about venturing out into that. You want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to read.
We're going to get some of these comments in, so y'all better get them in real quick before we...
said the beginning and end were key points because the couples were on the brink of divorce, and once they heard her story, it gave them different perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, even the couple that was in there getting the counseling, all I heard the woman talk about was how she feel. I feel this, I feel that, I feel this, I feel that, I feel this, I feel that. Well, feelings change. And you don't want to wake up on the other side of your feelings and realize that you made the biggest mistake based on your feelings. You know what I mean? And one thing that if I had to give anybody, and I often give people this in couples counseling, marriage counseling, is never let your love be based on what you feel. Your love got to be based on what you know. Your love got to be based on something bigger other than a butterfly in your stomach, other than that a person always doing what you like, other than a person always being right and perfect or whatever. Your love has to be, you know what, even when I don't feel like you deserve me showing you love, I know you do. Because if I didn't know that, I should not have committed who I am in you and through you to God. You know? So it's been, man, we would have never lasted almost 18 years if we moved on our feelings. You know what I mean? I'll be the first to confess and say I don't feel like loving her every day, because sometimes I'll be frustrated, sometimes I'll be mad, sometimes I feel like I'm not getting everything I want that I believe I should have at the time and things like that. And if it was based on my feelings, then I'm not going to fulfill my commitment to loving her unconditionally if I make my love based on what I feel. However, since I have removed myself from doing that, we have removed ourselves from doing that, we are able to love each other back to that place to where it feels good again. Versus stop loving each other when it don't feel good, and then next thing you know, we going farther and farther and farther away until our mind begins to tell us that what we feel is more real than what we know. So
I like the part when I forgot the guy's name, whatever, her husband, when he kept fighting for his marriage. Like, even though he had all of the signs, he had all the evidence, everything, even from the time when she went on the run with the guy and fell, and he had to go to that guy's house to pick his wife up. You know, I mean, I know he knew something wasn't right.
I would have beat you.
Even from that point, he had to know that something wasn't right with my wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he still, like we talked about the social media thing, he still believed in his wife. He thought he knew her enough to know that even though I see it right here in my face, she would not do this to me.
Right.
And it literally had to slap him in the face in order for him to realize and accept. And he had to hear it from her. Because even though he had all the evidence, it wasn't until she said, yes, you're a good, you know, you're not it for me no more. She said, you are a good guy, but I don't want a good guy. I want a phenomenal guy. It wasn't until then that he accepted the fact that my wife is gone.
Right.
Even though other people have been telling him that he had all the pieces of the puzzle, but he was waiting for her to give him that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that, to be honest, a lot of times that we know, especially for women, y'all know when things are happening. I don't know why. Y'all want to go look in phones. Y'all want to go check DMs. Y'all want to go calling phone numbers back. Like, you already know. Like, so make your decision based on that. Like, because to go look and dig and all of that, you just create a whole bigger mess. You expose something that maybe after feelings got out of the way could have been covered and could have been repaired. The quickest way to heal a situation in your relationship is, one, to cover it. That's just like any cut. If you don't hurry up and throw something to clean it and cover it, it's going to get infected. So the first thing you want to do, and this is I'm giving y'all this for free. Y'all going to get the rest in the book. But the first thing you want to do is you want to cover up whatever area has been exposed to whatever it may be. You want to cover it up, because if you don't, it get infected. And let me tell you how it gets infected. It get infected by the opinions of other people that's not even in your situation, that don't even know how to dictate or navigate themselves through your situation. But once you allow them to get inside your cut, they create more of a problem than helping. And then that cut, which is your relationship that you let them in, the problem you let them in, it start oozing out things that it never would have oozed out if you had just covered it the first time and say, I'm going to keep this covered until we figure out how to deal with it. Right? So that's what we got to learn how to do in our relationships. When things happen, don't just be so quick to, you know what I mean? I have seen so many people confess or make accusations of infidelity in their relationships on social media. And then they get on social media out of hurt or out of thinking what people may know, and they expose things that people did not know, and then they make it more difficult for them to repair a relationship that they're still in because they done put too much other stuff into a situation that should have been covered. You know, so just make sure, guys, before, even if you're gonna leave, make sure you cover it up first until you figure out what it is that you really want to do. That's on both sides, the one who probably did the cheating or the one who didn't do the cheating. Cover it up, make sure you that's what you really want to do, so that way the situation can heal and the situation can be handled with care versus putting it all out there like that. Like for example, I have been unfaithful in my marriage before, but y'all wouldn't know if I ain't put it out there. But the reason why it's okay, or why I don't mind putting it out there, and why she doesn't mind me putting it out there, is because we kept it covered until that aspect has been healed. See what I'm saying? But now, if she would have got in her feelings and she would have went out there and been like, you know what? New man, new me, or new job, new me. You know how some of the stuff people be doing. You know what I mean? Just me and my kids, changing her Facebook name, Tanika and her big 4, and all of that. She ain't do none of that stuff like that. You know what I mean? She covered it until she figured out how she was going to heal within herself, how we was going to deal with the situation. And then once we dealt with the situation and we healed from the situation, now we're able to speak about it from a standpoint of healing and empowerment versus shame and ridicule and anger and resentment.
Yeah, because once you put it out there like that, now you've given way for a contamination and for it to spread, you know, and now it's even a even bigger problem, because now you got to deal with your own, you know, embarrassment or feelings. If your feelings not have changed, now you got to go back to those people and explain why you did that and why you changed your mind, why you decided to stay, you know. So it's just better to just fix the issue internally first and then just move on.
Figure out what you want to do without no outside influence.
Yeah.
Because, Lord, like, if she would have ran to some family members, they probably been like, man, listen, you better get up out of here. You know what I mean? I can probably think of 2 that probably wouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Off the top of my head.
And that's what you want to hear at that time. It, like, in the moments, you want people to kind of scratch your, you know, we have itchy ears. You know, you want something that's going to soothe you, to make you feel not necessarily the right thing to do.
I don't even think people always want to hear that. I don't think that. You know what I mean? I think what people want to hear is that didn't happen, or people want to hear it's going to be okay. People want to hear is I want to stay. I want to be. Oftentimes, I think, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if anybody wants to leave a relationship, they are not going to wait on a reason to do it. It's no woman or no man that's sitting here saying, I want to leave my relationship, but my woman or my man ain't give me no... I've
heard people say that, though.
They might have said it. I want to leave, but I don't have no reason to. No.
Yes, no. I've heard... I mean, of course, we know they have to have a reason to want to do anything, but I'm saying the person doesn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I would just stay because you don't deserve to be hurt like this, because you're a good person. Just like she said, you are a good guy. But I don't want good. I want phenomenal. Maybe good enough for somebody else.
She left.
Yeah.
She didn't wait on him to cheat. She didn't wait on him to give her no reason to leave. She left. And that's what I'm trying to say. Ain't nobody gonna stay in no relationship just because they ain't give them no reason. So the truth of the matter is, whenever, and this is my humble opinion, whenever somebody start looking for things that could potentially make them leave, they already want to leave. They're just trying to find something that's going to convince them to go. Like, you should be able to speak. You should be able to testify to that.
To push them over the edge. I mean, of course,
they like, you already want to go. But it's like, you know what? I got to be. Like, it's kind of like this. We had these people back in the day that'd be like, say something about, I bet you won't say something about my mama. I bet you won't. Like, if you going to fight, just go ahead and fight. Why they got to say something about your mama, and why they got to pass the first lick and all of this stuff like that? No, if you really want to do something, if you really want to go, you going to go. Like, come on now. Like, it's like you don't need to find nothing to leave if you really want to leave. Like, my number one thing, y'all, like, I promise you, and I used to always say this to Nika when she always came to me and she would say, she would question me about a girl or a number or anything, you know what I mean? And I literally would ask her, if I tell you the truth, are you going to leave? If her answer is yeah, then I would tell her. Because I don't want her being with me based on a lie. That's the God honest truth. I'll take that to my grave. God and I know that that's how I am. But if she tell me no, she not leaving, I'm gonna be like, well, we don't even need to talk about that. Like, for
And that's
what? What we?
I'm gonna just tell you, women do not that you can't even don't even go there.
I know,
Don't
but I'm
even-
just listen now, and trust me. Again, we have grown from it. But my thing is to help you women out a little bit, and men too. Like, one, if you're going to stay, then why even have to bring something from the outside into something that you're choosing to stay into and demand that you know XYZ? All you're doing is creating a miserable space, miserable atmosphere. It's just a whole bunch of miserable this, miserable that. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So my thing is, like, I'll tell you everything you want to know. I won't leave nothing out. But the reality of it is, now what, like, how can I stay with you if we're gonna constantly be going down that road and down that whole, like, it's not healthy. It's toxic. It's really toxic, but again, that's just my humble opinion. Let me hear what y'all think.
Because some women, some men need that. They need that reassurance from their spouse, even though you cannot create happiness for someone else. We know that's a fact. You can't do that. But sometimes you need that reassurance from your spouse that yes, this has happened and I apologize. And whatever questions you have, I'm willing to be open enough so that you can be confident enough in me and we can continue to build and move forward. Some people need that.
Okay, so now here's the thing. I have no problem with speaking about it and moving forward. You know that. Like,
Yeah. I'm just saying generally,
But what we not finna do is, like, once I tell you everything you want to know, like, so why this, so why that,
Well,
so
just,
when
well,
this and
well,
when that and where this and where that and what made you this and what made you that. Like, it becomes a whole lot. It becomes a whole lot. And then now,
so the offender cannot put limits on their punishment, so to speak. You can't say, okay, because you did this now, so now you can't say, oh, well, don't ask me this question. No.
That's not what I'm saying, guys. That's not what I'm saying. They can ask whatever they want to ask. However, y'all have to understand, we don't have to answer what we don't want to answer.
And then we don't have to stay if we don't want to stay.
That's my point exactly. You know that. You know that. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, okay.
Yeah.
But so the reason why you're admitting is because you want to come clean and also save your relationship. So if salvaging your relationship means that I get to ask you whatever I want to know about that incident, then how are you able to say, no, I don't answer no more questions? You don't get that right because you violated that right when you did what you did. The man or the woman, whoever is the person that stepped out.
Y'all, she trying to play me on live.
Anyway, you want to say something before I read this?
Hold up, Dion. Yeah, we're going to get to the comments. Dion, tell me what you disagree about, but come on.
Oh, okay.
Go
Good.
I know that. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me make sure that's Dion. Go ahead.
That's him, because Nia on that too. Couples need to grow together. You know who you marry, but people change. So the test is growing together and understanding who they are becoming. Bottom line is communication. Right. Growing together. Right. And like you said, where we are now is not where we have always been. This is something that, because I used to go through phones and I used to.
Sure did, yeah.
But.
Call back a couple numbers too. Lord have mercy.
Oh, Sherry said verify. This is true. We know the person they present to us. Yeah.
Let me say this real. Oh, go ahead.
Vulnerability in a very powerful and most times is a very powerful and most times very demonic force. It makes you start looking too far when you should have been looking in the mirror and at home.
That's deep. Let me say this. Let me say this now, because I don't want y'all to y'all jumping too deep right now, right? When y'all need to put on your life jackets. Let me say this real quick. Stop acting like, because I seen in the comments, I think it was Tanya, a friend of the show who I love so dearly. But this is what I want to say. Yes, if you commit infidelity in your marriage, you have violated the union. However, too many times, oftentimes, we act like infidelity is the only way to violate the union. Right?
It's not.
And we need to understand that that is not the only way. That's the most talked about one. That's the most things that we blow out of proportion sometimes. But the reality of it is, I think that anytime someone has neglected a vow, or someone has neglected a commitment, or someone has neglected an area of need within their relationship, that's terms for termination of the relationship. That's terms for it. Now, you can't sit here and say, y'all would be wrong if y'all be like, well, I just text somebody. I ain't get them pregnant. Yeah, you didn't. But if your significant other want to say that the text is equivalent to them getting them pregnant, then hey, that on the surface, that's what it is. Now, the results are totally different. The results and the consequences behind each action is totally different, but it's still the same. You know what I mean? So,
Kind of like when you breaking the law. Like if I go in a store and steal something versus somebody else murdering somebody, we both broke the law.
y'all
but we
still
have
both still
different
criminals. Y'all
sentences
both still
based
criminals.
on the
Yep.
crime we committed.
Y'all both still criminals. Y'all just got different crimes or this,
Yeah.
that, and the third. And again, it takes a mature person to understand these things. You know what I mean? To understand these things. The same way it takes a mature person to understand that the violation is the violation. It also takes a mature person to understand that even though the violations are equal, the consequences and the results are different. So now we have to deal with the consequences and the results differently. However, they are still the same, And I think one of the things that helped us also grow and stay and love each other beyond unconditionally is because we learned that violation, there's no bigger or smaller violation, so to speak.
Right. It's just an interpretation of the person. So like you said, if we both stepped out of our marriage, then who's to say, because
That
let's say
because
if,
you
if
did
I
it
wanna
yesterday
talk,
and I did it a month ago, yours worse because you did it last.
yeah, or if I'm talking on the phone with somebody, texting or whatever, but you went on a date with somebody, we both did the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
We both violated.
We both violated. So who's to say which
violation is worse? That's what I'm saying.
or causes for worse treatment towards the next person?
That's
or
right.
whatever.
That's
Yeah.
right. And that's what helped us get through things like that. Because one, we never allowed the problem to attack us. We always attack the problem. You know what I mean? And I think on one of our shows before we talked about it, how we both have violated our relationship in multiple ways. You know what I mean? But the reality of it is, we never looked at the violation and said, okay, the violation is what destroyed or is what attacking our marriage. We always looked at the cause of the violation, what led up to the violation, what provoked the violation. And when we looked at it like that, we start tackling it together versus looking at it as an individual thing. So when couples learn to do that and be like, you know what, okay, I know why he went out on Friday night. He went out on Friday night because every time he was asking me to go out, I kept on telling him, no, I was too tired and blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. So because he went out on Friday, this is what happened, that is what happened, that is what happened. Now, I'm not the reason that he went out on Friday. I'm not the reason that he did whatever he did when he went out on Friday. That's who he is. I know that. However, before he did that, he did ask me to go. He did ask me to XYZ. So now instead of me attacking what he did when he went after I turned him down, let me figure out why I turned him down. Let's fix that. Let's heal that. That way I don't have to turn him down no more. See, and that's how you heal, and that's how you grow, and that's how and same for me. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, for instance, if for her birthday, every birthday, I take her to dinner and the movies, and that's it. And we come back home every birthday. And then one birthday, when I want to take her to dinner and the movies, or she make plans to go out of town with her homegirls on a girls trip for her birthday. She go on that girls trip. She do X, Y, Z, whatever. I find out about it or whatever the case may be. Now, instead of me getting upset and angry and attacking the girls trip and what she did on that girls trip, I have to sit back and say, hey, what is it that caused you to do X, Y, Z? Oh, because you got bored and you got tired of only just going to dinner and movie on your birthday? Okay, so guess what? Now, the problem ain't what she did on the girls trip. That's a result of the real problem. The real problem is she got tired of just going to dinner and movie on birthday. So that's what we attack. The real problem, not what happened because of the real problem. And I promise you, if you start doing that in your relationship, things will get better and you will last. Your relationships will last longer.
So what you think in the movie on Temptation, their problem was like it wasn't that she stepped out on him, right? Mm-hmm. The problem was that she didn't communicate or express her needs or her wants.
Right. And we're not going to put it all on her because he had some little bit roles to play in this too. I'm going to tell you what the problem was. The problem was, one, initially, he was not paying enough attention to his woman. That's the first thing. Right? And two, Brandy was working with him, so I could kind of understand why he wasn't paying attention to his woman. But seriously, right? He wasn't paying attention to his woman. Like, men, like, you really, if you claim that this is flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone, and you want to become one with this lady, if you really claim that this is what you want to do, if you really claim you want to become one with her, then that means you're supposed to be studying her. You're supposed to know her body language. You're supposed to know when she walked through the door, what type of mood she in. You're supposed to know what she's craving, what she's desiring, all of this stuff. Now, you're not supposed to know what she's thinking because that's borderline impossible. But you are supposed to be able to tell what she's feeling, you know? And the reason why is because you're supposed to know her in such a way. You know what I mean? And the only way you're going to get to know her is you're going to have to experience her. Not just experience having sex with her, but you really have to be present enough to know what her texting in her phone right now, even though we're doing the show, means. You gotta be experienced enough to know that. So clearly there's something going wrong with one of our children, or there's somebody that's trying to watch the show but don't know how to get on. So it's one of those two things. But the reason that I digress from the point that I'm making, what I'm saying is it took time for me to know things like that. It took time for me to know things like that. At one point in time, I would have been like, hey, she texting another dude. Or I'd have been like, she's doing something that ain't got no business doing, or whatever the case may be, because I'm not learning her. So anyways, he was not learning her. He was not learning her. He was not paying attention to her. And so much so to that when she really wanted to start her own business or whatever, he didn't even know she was capable of doing it. He initially shot it down. You know what I mean? He didn't think about it. He didn't communicate with her about it. He didn't talk. He was just like, hey, no, now ain't the time. That's it. Boom, shut it down. That was a violation. He didn't sleep with no girl, but that was a violation. So, you know, before I ran off and felt sorry for him, I saw little things that he did that was a violation. And that was one of them. Of course, forgetting her birthday, those was violations. So, yeah, it's just those things. We're going to go to some more comments.
Magnified what was already not happening.
Right, you know, right. And those, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, now you doing this on top of it. Oh, I'm really, now you pushing me into his arms, basically.
There ain't no pushing now. She ran into the moms. He ain't pushed her. She did that. I ain't going to take that one now. We ain't taking that one, fellas. We ain't taking that one.
Kevin says, yeah, our alter ego, the most professional gentleman you ran across. I agree. If you gotta stay, now you gotta deal with me, with everybody else's opinions. Yeah, if you stay, you know.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period. Most people want to hear how to fix their relationship, but vent to the wrong person.
Scroll down.
Yeah, that was
you skip up here. Oh, okay. All right, go ahead. Scroll again.
Okay, you heard what Lori said, right?
No, what Lori said. Most
people want to hear how to fix their relationship, but they vent to the wrong persons.
That's right, Lori. That's right. Well, see, here's the thing. I think that unless you're fully willing to be healed, and this is it has to be a two people thing. Like if you in a relationship, you have to be willing. You and your spouse has to be willing to be straightforward with what the real issue is, and then present it to somebody. If y'all haven't agreed on what the real issue is, I don't think y'all need to go to nobody. And if you can't come to an agreement on what the real issue is, then I don't think you need to be in a relationship. And because the truth of the matter is, like, when you're in a relationship with somebody and an issue arises, if y'all constantly are not knowing what the issue is, like anybody, even relationships that failed, let's keep it 100. If you have been in a relationship, there's no way you're going to tell me you did not know what the issues were that made the relationship not work.
Yeah.
No way. Now, you could say that you never wanted to face the issues, or you never wanted to accept the issues, or you never wanted to accept your role that you played in the issue of the relationship. However, if you were ever in a relationship and the person you was in a relationship kept complaining about a particular issue or whatever the case may be, and you real live were clueless and oblivious to what in the world they was talking about, again, there's no, why are you in that relationship? Like, it ain't gonna work. If they telling you you doing something wrong and they telling you that something is an issue for them and you're totally clueless as into what it is, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, I agree. This is so deep. Oh, Lakeisha, I'm about to burn up my chicken. So Sherry says, to some people it matters. Me personally, in my life, people are quick to say what they would do, but you really don't know what you would do until you're in a situation.
That's right.
That goes back to what you're saying about trusting and knowing. You know, like we say, oh, I'll never do that, I never do that. But if you find yourself in a situation, you don't know what you'll do until you're in that situation.
That's right.
And sometimes that's a hard truth to face, or a hard fact to understand and accept.
Yep.
You know, that I don't know myself as well as I think I know myself, or the version of me that I know may be different. You know, than this. I mean, we all react differently depending on the circumstances, depending on the situations at a particular time.
Right.
You know,
and check this out too, because I want to say something about this movie that a lot of people have to understand as well. They knew each other for 18 years, and she was ready to give up on their marriage after 6 years. That don't match to me. How you knew me
19
for 19 years to get all the way up to this point to where we actually sign up to be with each other for the rest of our lives, and you only give our forever 6 years? So we had took 18 years to get to signing up for forever, but you only want to give our signing up for forever 6 years. Really? Come on now.
You think it's because it's
you
the
know
way
what?
out?
I'm gonna tell you. Look, I just spoke to my boy today too, but I know they don't mind me doing this. But one of my favorite couples, y'all probably heard me say this, if not my favorite couple of all time, are the Reagans, Shalonda and Chill. They are the blueprint of what forever looks like, right? And this is just my humble opinion. They have been together for those of you watching, they've been together for centuries. They've been together for, now I'm exaggerating, but they've been together for decades. For decades. And already was locked in for forever. They didn't allow society, they didn't allow people, they didn't allow the government or nobody to make them feel greater than or less than of what they already had. They knew what they had, they stuck with what they had, and then after being together forever, signed up for forever. Ain't nothing breaking that. Ain't nothing breaking that. I remember I used to tell my wife, when me and her used to go through our little whatevers, I used to look at her and say, I want that Shalonda and Chill love. If you ain't with it, then go and kick rocks. That's what I want. That's what we signing up for. So yeah, man, when you know you got forever, you sign up for that forever, and that's what it is. Two people saying that we getting ready to ride this thing out until it's over with. I don't care what you do. I don't care what she does, and I don't care what I do. It's no more she did it than I did it. It's we did it. So whenever a problem arises, ain't nobody going to be able to come to me and be like, oh, man, she cheated on you. You need to leave her. No, I'm going to be like, nah, she ain't cheat on me. we cheated on each other. So now what I need to do is I need to figure out what caused that issue, because the issue ain't who she slept with. The issue ain't even the fact that she slept with somebody. The issue is what made her feel comfortable enough to go and do it. And oftentimes, fellas and women, again, I don't want nobody to think that it's your fault. Monogamy, again, monogamy is not natural. It's not. You have to practice it. You have to strive for it. You have to go out. We are humans and we naturally want variety. Naturally want variety. Period. You know what I mean? Put a buffet in front of us and we going to get a little bit of everything. Don't y'all challenge me on this, because I promise you I can back up what I'm saying. We will naturally go after everything. Put us in a store with a bunch of sneakers. It's going to be hard for us to determine which one we want. If we could afford them all, we going to get them all. Give us a car. We can get a brand new 2022 something right now. In 5 more years, we going to be looking at the 2026.
Like
you know, same thing with the iPhone. We upgrading in this, that, and the third. However, you have to practice not to be like that. This is something you have to practice, because naturally you don't want to be that way. Like you're not going to be that way. So with that being said, it's never your fault when your significant other go out there and do it. However, there is something that may have triggered a natural reaction. You know what I mean? Like once, like for example, if somebody, I never smoked crack before. Well, let me rephrase that. I never smoked crack knowingly. Nah, somebody laced a blunt on one time. I never smoked crack knowingly. However, thank God I didn't know it, because I might have been addicted. You know what I mean? So the truth of the matter is, though, for those of people that have been addicts on crack, on heroin, on anything that you're addicted to, the reality of it is you develop a natural desire for it now. You develop a natural desire for it now. However, if you're not around that thing, you can't get it. So that desire slowly goes away. But there is something that can trigger that desire. Now, is it that trigger's fault that you have that desire that's even capable of being triggered? Or is it the fact that you have that desire? It's the fact you have that desire that's to blame. The trigger is not to blame. So women, I would say y'all can be the trigger to why we go out and do what we do. But y'all not to blame for why we do what we do, because oftentimes we desire it. If y'all heard me say on the last show, women, men, don't be mad at me, but you know this the truth. We can have a woman being everything that we wanted them to be, doing everything perfect, doing everything right, and still go out there and mess up. I don't know why we do it, women. I'm sorry. That's just what some of us do. You know, not saying that we all will do it, but we all are capable of doing it. Fellas, on the flip side, oftentimes, if your woman goes out there and do it, it's because of something that she's been trying to tell you she's missing, but you just refuse to pay attention and fulfill it. So
yeah, and when you were saying about how, you know...
Yep, Sherry said they could be triggered too. Yeah, Sherry, that's why I just now say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you were saying that, you know, it's there, it's just a matter of something triggering it. I just thought about, like, you know, when you're getting ready to fire your weapon or whatever, you got your 9mm or whatever, you putting your ammo
why you always choosing violence, though?
No, I'm just saying, if you got your bullets and or your ammo in your magazine, right? But you put the magazine in the weapon, and I'm saying until you put your hand on the trigger to squeeze it's not gonna fire. Yeah, right, but you've been loaded. You've always had it there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
If anything happened to me,
I'm a visual.
Just know I didn't start it. That's all I'm gonna say. I did not start it. I did not. So yeah, but that's a good point that you made. So yeah, good analogy. Good analogy. You know, if you don't squeeze that trigger, we ain't gonna go bang bang.
But it's still loaded. It's still loaded.
Oh, it's loaded now. It's locked and loaded now.
Kevin said, true. That's why we surround ourselves with people we trust, who have our best interests and will give it to us straight, no chase. That's so important. Having a solid circle of people that you know have your best interests at heart and won't take sides. Like, I'm so grateful that David and I have had, you know, been graced with having people around us that don't take sides on our relationship.
Shout out to the Johnsons. My brother Raymond Johnson and my sister Sabrina Johnson.
Absolutely. And we can just be honest.
And my mother and my father, of course.
We can be honest and be be real and and have those people in our corner that say, look, I know y'all going through, but look, you was wrong in doing this, you was right in doing this, or whatever, and it be okay.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just because you're my family, I'm not going to always take your side. Or you're my friend, I'm not going to always say that you're
That's
right.
right.
Because I could be pushing you down a road that is, you know, going to be harmful to your relationship. You know?
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. I was in a full blown out relationship while I'm married, and my sister snatched. She could have see the distance between me and Nika. Like Nika was doing her own thing, I was doing my own thing. But to family members, when we came around, it would look like we was good. You know what I mean? Like it was no issues or whatever. Because I mean, at the end of the day, we was always best friends. You know what I mean? So whatever she had going on, whatever I had going on, it didn't make us not still be best friends. And we walked into the house, my sister's house, and she said, hold up, something ain't right. What's going on here? What's going on here? And she literally pulled us. She got some type of rope or something that she had, tied us together, her and her husband. If you see how big her husband is, like I wasn't even gonna try to fight because I didn't really feel like all that. But they tied us together, locked us in this closet, and said, y'all not coming out until y'all get whatever is wrong right. And we ain't staying there too long. We stayed out, about an hour maybe, if that.
I can't remember.
We wasn't in there too long. And we just really came face to face. I'm going to tell you what it was for me. Can you remember what it was that made you open up and talk in that moment? No. What it was for me was, and this is what I have told you before, not about this situation, but other situations. If there's other people that care enough about our relationship to do things like that, then we need to start caring enough about it. Or we need to let it be. And that's what made me open up, because I was like, man, you know, like for people to really care this much about our relationship, maybe they see something that we don't see. Maybe we're too close to each other to really see what we have. Let's take a step back a little bit and analyze, you know, what we really have and what the real deal is. You know what I mean? Because even though I can find, and I just said this, who I said this to? Tasha, your sister. Even though I can find many other women that I can do life with, right? Many other women. And this is the things when you have to know what's different about the person that you do decide to do life with. I could find many women to do life with. I can't find many of women to do purpose with. And when it comes to purpose, I can't think of no other woman that I would rather do purpose with other than my wife, other than her. And that's no cap. Like, that's straight up. You know what I mean? I can do life with another woman. I probably could do life with 7 billion people out there. I can do life with somebody else, but I can't do purpose with somebody else. I wouldn't even want to do purpose with nobody else. You know what I mean? So.
Lori said, those never-ending cycles will dead a relationship so quick. Some people have to speak on it, but they both have to understand staying is an option. Making a decision, make a decision and make a choice. Right. Calling numbers and asking 1,000 questions make a person in a relationship question everything from then on. Right, unless it's talked about face, then heal yourself and relationship. But again, it's about choices.
Right.
It's all about choices. You decide to stay. Like you said, don't be digging and asking questions or whatever. Because like you said, never end the cycle.
It's okay to talk about it, but we got to talk about it from a healing standpoint, not talk about it from a toxic standpoint. And I found out that oftentimes, I ain't talking about you, but like in relationships in the past, back in the day, that the only reason why they want to talk about it is because they want to have a one-up, or they want to express an emotion or cater to an emotion that they are not being able to do themselves. So it's like, I need you to say something to make me feel better about what I'm feeling about what you did.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that we can only do but so much to help you feel better about what it is that you feel. Your healing has to be a personal thing. Now, we can support your healing, but we can't force your healing. If you don't choose to say, you know what, I'm going to heal from this, I'm going to be healed from this, then a man can try to undo or win back your trust all day long. But the reality of it is, again, trust is an illusion to making us think that we're in control when we're really not in control. I already been down that whole spiel, but if you want me to tell you my whole analogy on that, just inbox me. I'll tell you. But the truth of the matter is, what we have to understand and what we have to know is, once we make a decision, now we have to put the responsibility of how we're going to react to the decision that we made. So let's say, for instance, if my wife violated in our marriage and it made me feel some kind of way, she could not even be behaving in that manner no more or indulging in that behavior no more. But because of my feelings, I'm demanding something from her that I need to deal with myself. So now I can frustrate the situation in another area because I don't want to come to terms with, hey, you decided to stay. So now you have to figure out a way to heal yourself versus putting that burden on someone else. Because that person is responsible for what they did to you. But that person ain't responsible for what they did to you causes you to heal or how you heal on the inside. The body, the mind, the heart, time is naturally designed to help you heal all of that. So again, let me say that in a different way to where I can bring clarity to it. We're responsible if we do something to you. We're responsible for what happened to you. But we're not responsible for how you deal with what happens to you. Am I making sense?
Yeah, because the way you react to what happened is a result of like your upbringing, different characteristics, which you have nothing to do with. So like how I process something, you can't control.
Well, no, because when you put it like that, it doesn't make it a reality. It still puts the blame or the burden on somebody else. You know what I mean? The only person that's responsible for how you react to something is you.
Yeah.
Is you. Yeah. Even yesterday, when I ministered at Lit, Virginia, when I said how Abraham reacted a certain way according to what he was familiar with, right? But the reality of it is the way he reacted was his own fault. That was his issue. So now, let's say, for instance, if Nika haul off and punch me in my eye right now.
Lord, sometimes.
I told y'all she be choosing violence. Again, if something happened to me, just know she started it. Just know she come look for her. So anyways, like if you punch me in my eye, right? You punch me in my eye, that's what you did. You're responsible for what happened to me.
Okay.
You ain't responsible for when I punch you back in your eye for punching me in my eye. I'm responsible for that. You see what I'm saying? So we are all responsible for how we react to what happens to us. So if somebody does something to hurt you, they're responsible for what they did. But now, what are you going to do because of what they did? Let me get what's up, Ty? I see my boy Ty in here.
Hey.
He don't never answer my phone call, but that's all right. I forgot we on here. I want to hear what he said.
Okay, we gotta go.
All right, we're going to get to you, Ty, real quick.
Beyonce, I agree to a certain extent, right? We're talking about what Lloyd was saying earlier. I feel like questions have to be asked to whatever person has to answer them that brought them onto themselves. Basically what we're just saying, right? And then he goes to say, because once you ask the questions, there is nothing to question you about because you know the whole truth. He's saying it's permissible to continue to ask questions, right?
Yeah.
Then you heal together. Again, only if you both plan to stay. Then you can work on it.
That's right. I agree. Now, I do believe that you have to address the issue, but what I'm saying is it's a difference between addressing the issue and
lingering or
addressing the issue and giving life to the issue. Come on, let's look. I'm gonna come back to that.
A lot of times we're young and dumb, so we don't care about fixing the issues. It's on to the Kev,
you know how we used to do.
On to the next. Oh my goodness. Lori's so crazy.
See what you done started. See, and you know Lori with it all.
Keisha, I hope your chicken is nice and crispy, but I hope it ain't burnt out though. All right. How can you make someone fall in love with you again after years of deception and neglect? But that was a key word. He said, "How can you make someone fall in love with you?"
And this is my honest. Yes, he did. This is my this is my honest opinion. This is my honest opinion. You cannot make them fall in love with you again. You cannot make them fall in love with you again. However, what you can do is you can, again, you're responsible for what you do. You can love them. You can love them. And in terms, hopefully, if you, I believe that, and this is just me, if any woman has ever been in love with me and fell out of love with me, if they allow me access to love on them again, they will fall back in love with me. That's just, I just believe that, because I believe that you don't fall in love with just any and everybody. You fall in love with people who you have placed a certain, y'all connected in such a way, you know, to which even if it lies dormant, because I don't think it ever dies, it can be resurrected. However, you're going to have to, if you got access, you're going to have to do the things that you did in order for what was lying dormant to become alive again. So, Ty, I would say the way that happens is, if you got access, you have to love them until they fall back in love with you. It can't be no, like, you got to be consistent with it. Whatever you was to make them fall in love with you the first time, you have to do that again. And then some. Because I'm going to tell you, I'll be the first to say, my wife fell out of love with me, what, twice?
That I can't remember. But yeah,
see, a lot of times.
Twice,
a lot of
I think
times.
twice, yeah.
A lot of times. And I fell out of love with her twice that I could think of off the top of my head, right? And the only way, well, let me ask you this. You know, this would be better from a woman perspective, because I'm just babbling on like I know why you fell back in love with me. Why you fell back in love with me? Y'all want me to answer that.
No, honestly, I really, and like we've said before, I've said on several shows before,
I put the key in that lock, and
that women, sometimes we know our mate's full
know
potential.
What I do.
We know that had nothing to do with
I know.
A lot of times we know our mate's full potential, and it had a lot to do with my relationship with God, honestly.
Okay.
I have been praying and praying and praying, you know. Honestly, at one point I prayed to not be in love with you anymore, you know. But I knew that it was the will of God for our lives to be together. And then so I prayed that God make you to be what he needs you to be for me. Right, you know, right. And that attracted me to you all over again.
Okay,
you know,
great, awesome. So what attracted you back to me was who I became, who you fell in love with to start with.
No.
I became greater than who you fell in love?
Okay. You became...
But I had to, at the very least, be who you fell in love to start with, plus more.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, that's what Kevin said too. Being yourself, in my opinion, or your alter ego, which made the connection in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
So, from a woman's standpoint, I became not only who I was when she first fell in love, but I exceeded that. You know. So, and Ty, you got a chance to hang with me during my times of not being in love with her. So, like, you kind of got seen the best of both worlds. And then you also got a chance to hang with me during the times where I fell back in love with her. You know what I mean? So, you probably don't remember who Taiwan is, but I'm going to tell you. You remember Taiwan? Okay, all right. That's what's up. So, yeah, so you got a chance to see the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah. And, so, yeah... Pastor Sheila, you know, I had said that before, you know, I was at some point in our relationship, we both had gotten so frustrated with each other. You know, I don't know what David's prayer was, but I literally was praying to God, look, I don't want to be in here anymore. I don't want to be in love with this guy. Like, make it okay for me to not feel for him like I feel, because I want to kind of shield myself. I want to be justifiable in my reasons for not wanting to be in this relationship. You know, not even so much of what David had done or whatever. It's just that I felt like I was, I had grown away, grown apart from that. I no longer wanted to be in the relationship, you know. But then I realized that the will of God for my life, my relationship, is greater than even what I wanted in my own marriage. You know what I mean? And I think, and this might not be for everybody, but in my case, I knew that this is a union that God had put together, you know, and I knew it was going to be hard work for us to maintain it. And there were going to be periods of times where I didn't like him, I didn't love him, but I knew that there still was going to be kind of like how the earth rotates around the sun. Like that, I knew that it was coming back around
Hold on
again.
now, you ain't
Wait
about
a
to
minute.
Will and Jada me.
But I didn't
of
know.
honest.
No, but I didn't know if I could stay in there until it comes back around again. I didn't have what it took to wait until it came back around again. You know.
Yo, she about to
Because-
Jada me up here right now. I'm not. You
Oh,
about
no,
to have
no.
me with the Will crying face.
Oh
Anyways, go ahead. You finished? You done
no!
bashing
You
me?
keep
You done
interrupting
beating me up?
That's the stuff I'm talking
You
about.
done beating me up today? Anyways,
Yeah.
guys, good point though. Nah, I was just joking with you, but good point though. Back to your question though about what I prayed for and how it happened for me. For me, it was slightly different because I never wanted to be outside doing my own thing. But once I got out there, I kind of fell in love with it. You know what I mean? I fell in love with being out there. You know what I mean? I don't even know. At one point, I thought I fell in love with a woman I was out there with, but I don't think it was that. I think I just fell in love with being out there. I'm not even sure. I don't even dwell on it like that no more. But one thing I do know is I used to pray and be like, God, I'm not in love with my wife. I want to be back in love with my wife. Right? And then he would do it. Or I would fall back in love with her. And then the triggers would happen all over again. So when the triggers started happening, then I would start my prayer change. And then I'd be like, okay, God, you know what? I remember one time God told me I had to go back to her. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not even praying. And people used to say, pray and ask God to give you that love back. Pray and ask God to fix it. And I was like, I don't want him to fix it. I'm good. You know? And long story short, when I realized that even what I thought I wanted, which is what this girl should have realized in the movie, the things that I thought I wanted couldn't even measure up. And this is when it got real for me. When I found myself out there and I started looking at what I was out there with, and then I started looking like, you don't get the right to do that. She does. I'm not letting you do what she do. I'm not letting you say what she say. I'm not letting you get what she get because she's different to me than you are. She put in the work. She paid the price. She signed up for it. She held me down. She this, whatever, everything. And then I start seeing the things that meant more. And I start asking myself, would I be able to forgive that one the way I forgive her? Would I be able to overlook shortcomings in that one the way I overlook the shortcomings in her? Would I be able to hold her up during her bad days the way I do with her? And I started realizing what was more important. You know what I mean? Now, my wife, fine, she's sexy. She still makes me look at her and be like, wow, like she could walk past me and I could be not thinking about nothing sexual and automatically want to have sex. Like I still want to date her. She still gets my motor going. But that ain't have nothing to do with it. When I realized that this was the woman that whenever I got locked up, whether we was on bad terms or not, she made sure that I got out of there. This was the woman that that know more of my business than I do. Like, I don't know how to pay not their bill. She paid all the bills. Now, I'm not saying that she got all the money, and she do. But what I'm saying is, if I got a bill to be paid, I got to give her money to pay it because I don't know the process on how it goes to pay it. I don't open none of my mail. When my mail come in the house, I hand her the mail and be like, hey, what this is? And let her, like, these are the type of things. I can't find that with nobody else. That's when you know you in purpose. I can't find that in nobody else. Like, she the reason why I memorized my social security number. Because I got tired of her knowing it and I didn't. You know what I mean? So it's just those kind of intangible things. You know what I mean? Thinking back to, you know, how I would set up a bank account and not even have access to it myself. And didn't have to worry about her touching one dime. Now, that ain't the case now. But back in the day, you know, that's how it was. You know what I mean? So those are the intangible things that you have to start asking yourself. Like, am I going to ever find another? If you have that now, am I going to ever find somebody else that when all the other stuff fade away, the solid things are still going to remain. The solid.
Yeah, and I think sometimes life distracts us in such a way that it can be easy for us to feel like the solid things are not enough. That we long for the things that are flexible and wavering because we have choices, and because we have a choice, sometimes we want to choose something that's easy. We don't want to hang in there and make it work because it's too hard.
Right.
And that's when we get consequences for our decisions, and that's when we create a bigger mess than what it would have been if we had just stuck in there with our partner and say, hey, let's communicate, let's talk about this. What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like this today? I've noticed this. And another thing, and I was guilty of this too, allowing things to linger. Well, maybe I think he feel like this, or I think he might not like this, or whatever, but not talking about it as soon as you feel like it might be an issue. Because by the time you speak about it, it may be too late. And I think all of us owe each other, our significant others, we owe it to each other to address our concerns as soon as they arise. And that's something that I'm still learning, because we feel like we can handle it internally, or we can deal with it internally, or it's going to be okay internally. But unless we communicate that with our partner, we don't know the true effects of what it is that's going on.
Yeah, I'm laughing at Kev. All right, Kev. Keep my business out the streets now.
Thank you, Kevin.
Keep my business out the streets, Kev. Keep my business out the streets.
Appreciate you.
But listen, Pastor Sheila and her husband is watching. Man of God, thank you for watching with us tonight. We appreciate your presence in here. We love you guys to life.
Absolutely.
Distractions can definitely come, but it's how you deal with those distractions. And again, there are certain triggers. My thing is, I want to get to the place to where it ain't even nothing in me to trigger. You know what I mean? But that'd be so hard. It's just so hard to do that. But however,
as long as you're in the flesh, there's always going to be things that's going to tug at that.
Yeah. However, though, just because you get triggered, don't mean you have to go bang bang. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to understand too. Sometimes it's better to just go and lay down and be mad. You know what I mean? Play Madden. Go play Madden or something. Do something. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But,
just knowing what it's worth, the value.
Yeah. Again, too, find you a good support system. Ty, if you still watching, this will also help for whoever it is that's trying to fall back in love. Let them know that find them a different support system. Because it's going to be hard for somebody to fall back in love with somebody if they believe that they're still in the same place that they were in when they fell out of love with them. So, like, for example, I can't hang around people that when I get to those weak moments and I become distracted or whatever. Yeah, you sure did, Kev. It was times where I wanted to go out and do my thug thizzle, and Kev be like, nah, bro, I'm going to stay in here on the game. You know what I mean? So, and having people like that around you, developing new friends, developing a new circle of people that when you ready to, like, let's say you and your girl on bad terms, or you and your man on bad terms, you got to have somebody who has a man or who has a girl who's going to tell you, hey, look, bro, come over here and chill with us, but not going to say, oh, let's go out to this club, or oh, let's go out to let's go do this, let's go do that, which is going to lead to the behavior that caused that person to fall out of love. So for me, it's like I got enough of a different circle now to where even in my moments of being triggered, instead of me getting upset and saying, okay, I'm going to go to her house, or I'm going to go look for her, or I'm going to go out here and possibly end up with a new her, or whatever the case may be, what I simply do is I might go and do something with my new circle or with my new crowd that's going to keep me from doing it. But now, because of our Till Death Do Us Part family, I don't really even have those moments like that, because it's like we always planning something together with somebody. Like, even if it's just coming here on Monday nights and talking to y'all. Like, if me and her was mad at each other earlier today and I wanted to go to a bar or something just to blow off some steam, I can't go do it now because we got other friends that we can sit down and talk with. Y'all think I'm capping, but that's really what it is. Like some Mondays when we get up here, we going through it. Like we beefing. You know what I mean? We don't beef too long. I think now the most beefing we do is probably like 2 or 3 days. But that's just because of work and all of that. We passing each other by and we ain't sitting down and really actually talk about it. You know what I mean? But if I was to tell y'all some of the stuff we be beefing about, y'all be like, man, that's all y'all. But sometimes what seems small can be big. But the reality of it is we have other stuff now that we surrounded ourselves with that keeps us from being in that position to make us fall out of love with each other again. So mad at me, we got to do the show now. You're going to have to get it together. We got to go and do the show. And we come and we do the show. Tuesday, we ain't got time to be mad at each other either, because Wednesday, we got to come right back and we got a Zoom that we do every Wednesday that I'm going to post so you guys can come and join on. Something similar too, but we go in depth and you only can get on that Zoom with a passcode because everybody don't need to know your stuff and everybody don't need to know your business. And we don't let everybody in there because we want to create a safe place for people to, do XYZ. So just create a different space. That in itself, for yourself, when they see that different space forming, that's almost half the job. You know what I mean? And then after Wednesday, right after we get done with Wednesday, more than likely we probably going to end up having choir rehearsal or something, or whatever the case may be. And then Friday, we right back at it again, So you got to find other things to do with yourself so that when y'all do have y'all moments or whatever, y'all got a different place y'all can come to. And having different places to go to will minimize the issues that you go through and you deal with or whatever. So, go ahead. You want to say something? We got any more comments? Mm-mm. All right, guys. We was over an hour. She was supposed to be taking me out to dinner today, but the place we wanted to go to closed at
Hey, Keish,
9
we love
o'clock.
you too, darling.
We love you. We love you. We love you. David, I'm you, and my husband is Nika. Lord, Sheila, no, don't say that. You can't be me, Pastor Johnson. No, Lord Jesus, no. You don't want to be me. But I get what you're saying, though. We thank all of y'all so much for tuning in. We thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
love all of y'all. Y'all, we are finalizing the details to Till Death Do Us Part Couples Retreat 3. I'm telling you right now, Taiwan, y'all might want to come on this retreat. Y'all might want to come on this retreat. I'm telling you, I have had a couple of couples come on this retreat, not in love, fell out of love. One was on the verge of divorce. Well, now they are happily divorce-free. And they are, you just did, and they are so in love. I mean, the woman's just glowing all over the place. I thought I was about to get me a nephew or something baking in the oven. You know what I mean? We have had proposals take place on this retreat. Somebody got pregnant on this retreat. And, all of that good stuff going on. So, yeah. All of this good stuff going on. So, yep, Nia, we going to send y'all the details as soon as we get it finalized. As soon as we get everything finalized. Ty, I'm telling you, y'all need to go. You said you with it. I'm going to let you know way in advance. And it's in May. It's going to be in May. So, make sure your schedule's clear for May. It's going to be in May. We're going to have a good time. I got a video up that shows y'all, like, you can see a glimpse of some of the stuff that we do, but that's a small glimpse of what takes place on these retreats. That's a small glimpse. I would tell everyone, and not for this one, not for this retreat, but peace and blessings, bro. Love you always. If you don't have a passport and you over 21, shame on you. Go get your passports. You're not going to need it for this retreat, but you're going to need it in life one day eventually. Hopefully, all of you will travel out of the country. But the retreats to come, there are going to be passport requirements. So, yeah, it's going to be international. Keisha, hey, please pray that we can come. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. We sure will. know it's coming right until you feel Tika, don't act like that, because you know I sent
She
you
should have been
several
on the
times.
first one.
I sent her the first one, I sent her the second one, I've sent her the second one so many times. I was like, come on now, just in case you forgot, just in this, just in that, just blowing her little inbox up. And I thought you was coming. I ain't gonna lie, I really thought you was coming. But I promise you, Tika, if you come on the first one, you're gonna be sitting back like, wow. If you come on this next one, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe that I ain't go, you know. And again, we have so much fun, guys, on these retreats. However, it is not a vacation. I cannot stress that enough. If you ever watch Marriage Boot Camp or what's the other one? Yandy them did their little couples retreat or whatever the case may be. If you ever watch those, it's something similar to that, but it's not as corny and cheesy. And then when I say similar, it's spiritual. It's therapeutic. It's relaxing. It's fun. It's informative. You're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn so much about your spouse. You're going to learn so much about us. You're going to learn so much about other couples. You're going to grow. You're going to even know whether you have what it takes. Because oftentimes, I'm not going to even sit here and cap. We have never had this happen. But sometimes you go on these things and you realize, hey, it ain't meant to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But these are definitely this is definitely something that you see the reviews on our website. Everybody blessed, beyond blessed. We have been blessed. And again, I can't stress enough, we didn't put this together because we felt like we had it all together. God inspired us to do this because we needed this for ourselves and couldn't find it. So once we developed a place of healing, we decided, hey, you know what? We want to provide a place of healing for people too. So now, even though we have not healed completely, we're on the road and a journey to our healing. And we want to bring people on that journey with us. So that's what this is all about. All right. Nika, you got anything you want to say? Closing remarks. All right, we thank you guys for tuning in again. We love you. Listen, if you are in the Somerton area, I want y'all to follow me down to I'm gonna put the flyer in there, but it's a small church in Somerton, Open House of Prayer. It's on Furman Road. I can't remember the number to it, but I will be there on this Friday. Men, if you can get out there, please come out there. I want us to pack out the house because women are always showing up to church. But y'all, if y'all know me and y'all have heard me minister, it's not like it's not traditional. It's not religion. It's not religion. It's spirituality. So please come out. It's going to be an awesome move of God. Men on fire for God. Lit Spiritual Wellness Center will be in the building. As I always say, the fire is spreading and it's lit. I will be popping up in the city near you real soon, God's willing. Pray for us. Me and my wife are doing some groundbreaking things. And we need your love and support. Pray sincere prayers. Pray for our strength and clarity. We love you guys.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. I know we're like an hour and a half. We're 30 minutes over our schedule, but we appreciate you guys. Make sure you go to our website, tilldeathdouspart.info. You can check out the reviews, check out our couples retreats. Mm-hmm. Also, if you are interested in coming on the retreats, you can sign up for more information. Just type in the information that you would like and enter your email address, and we'll make sure that we put you on the list when we send the information for the retreats out. Right.
And these slots go quick, guys, and everybody can't go. So when we put it out there, you better get your deposits in like that because they be gone by the time they get in. They be gone, you know. And I think that's it. Oh, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Till Death Do Us Part. You got that link to put it in there? If it's not in there now, it'll be in there soon. Till Death Do Us Part, our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. All right. And I also, if y'all friends with me on Facebook, go look on my page. Even if you're not, it's public. Go look on my page and you will see Open House of Prayer. It's a flyer that I'm about to post. I didn't post it yet. But I'm going to put it in the comments. I'm putting it in. And Lakeisha, I will be looking for you there. I'm going to put it in the comments. I'm going to be looking for you there. All right. We love you guys. We're going to pray out. God, we thank you for everyone that has watched on tonight. We ask that you continue to bless and multiply this platform so that people can heal in every relationship of their life. More importantly, their relationship with you. God, we understand that if we can get our relationship with you intact, it would help us better navigate throughout the relationships that we deal with here on this earth. We ask that you keep us all in peace until we meet again on next Monday. And we will forever give your name the praise, the glory, and the honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
See you
Good
guys
night,
next
everybody.
Monday.
Good night.
Till
Thank
death
you
do
for
us part.
joining.